Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an Iron Curtain has descended across the continent. These powerful words, spoken by Winston Churchill in 1946, gave a name to the dividing line that would define Europe for nearly half a century. The Iron Curtain was not a physical wall in its entirety, but a vast, ideological, and heavily fortified border separating two worlds. To the east lay the countries of the Warsaw Pact, dominated by the influence of the Soviet Union. To the west were the nations of NATO and the democratic West, aligned with the United States. This division was the cold, hard reality of the post-World War II era, a period that came to be known as the Cold War. The origins of the Iron Curtain trace back to the final days of World War II, as the Allied powers liberated Europe from Nazi Germany. The Soviet Red Army, advancing from the east, freed many nations but also established communist governments and military garrisons, effectively bringing them under Moscow's control. Countries like Poland, Hungary, Czechoslovakia, Romania, Bulgaria, and East Germany found themselves on the eastern side of this new divide. The separation was stark. Politically, it was communism versus democracy. Economically, it was central planning versus free markets. And socially, it was control versus freedom. Life behind the Iron Curtain was marked by restriction. Travel to the west was severely limited, and information was tightly controlled. State-run media broadcast propaganda, while Western news and culture were censored. Secret police forces, like the Stasi in East Germany, monitored citizens for any sign of dissent. Despite the risks, many people dreamed of a life of freedom and attempted daring escapes. Some tried to cross heavily militarized borders, navigating minefields, barbed wire, and armed guards. While some succeeded, many were captured or lost their lives in the attempt. The most potent and brutal symbol of the Iron Curtain was the Berlin Wall. Erected in 1961, it physically split the city of Berlin in two. The wall was built by the East German government to stop its citizens from fleeing to the democratic West Berlin. It became a concrete manifestation of the ideological chasm, a stark reminder of a city and a continent torn apart. Families were separated overnight, and for 28 years, the wall stood as a monument to the oppression of the Cold War. The end of the Iron Curtain began not with a bang, but with a series of cracks in the Soviet bloc's foundation. In the late 1980s, reformist movements gained momentum, fueled by economic stagnation and a growing desire for freedom. Poland's Solidarity Movement, a trade union that challenged communist rule, played a pivotal role. In 1989, Hungary took a bold step by opening its border with Austria, creating the first tear in the Iron Curtain. This allowed thousands of East Germans to escape to the west. The final, decisive moment came on the night of November 9, 1989. Following weeks of mass protests, the East German government announced that its citizens could cross the border. In a night of joyous and emotional celebration, crowds from both East and West Berlin swarmed the wall, chanting, singing, and tearing it down with hammers and picks. The fall of the Berlin Wall symbolized the collapse of the Iron Curtain and the end of the Cold War. It paved the way for the reunification of Germany in 1990 and the liberation of nations across Eastern Europe, allowing them to reclaim their sovereignty and begin the journey toward democracy. The Iron Curtain, once a symbol of division and oppression, became a relic of history.